Howdy ho, good people. Hello, friends, my crafter buddies. I hope everybody's having a great day. This video is going to be a little different. I'm going to start with, well, what I've been doing. I've found it very hard to concentrate on anything because of all the crap that's going on in this country. The murder of that girl, Renee Nicole Good, had me very upset. But, my heart goes out to the family and friends, especially her children that are now parentless. That's just awful. I'll get back to that. What I wanted to show you, I did that 12 by 12 piece of card that I just stuck the fabric scraps to, and then I put the other card on the back after I sewed around everything. And the way that I remember, I wasn't sure how I was going to cut it because I didn't think the regular cutter would go through. I didn't want to use my good fabric scissors because of the paper, and yeah, I wasn't sure. So the way that I cut it was metal ruler on a cutting board with a utility knife, sharp. Use a new blade. I broke the last little bit off and used a new blade, and that did excellent. And then to get the little corners, how did I have that? This way. To do the little corners so that they would be even, I lined it up against the side, and because they have these little angles already on the board, I just used that. Now, I did mess up, and usually I was lining it up against the end, and one of them I lined up on the line, so it's got a bigger angle. And then then I couldn't figure out, I was like, oh, well, now I have to sew around them because now the edges of the fabric wasn't really tacked down. So yeah, so then we sewed around each and every one of them once or twice. Different kinds of thread, different colors. Still lots of room to journal on the back. It's just mainly I stayed close to the edge of that. Tried not to go in too much. And so there we go. I have those. So I did them 3 inches. I cut the 12 by 12 in half, so it was 6 by 12, and then I cut 3 inch tags. So they're not real short, but they're not real tall, and you know, there's so many different ways you can decorate them now. And as long as I had my sewing machine out, because I wasn't feeling very inspired by anything, I just grabbed a bunch of the tags that I had, all the master boards that I had cut up, the papers, the inked photo paper, and I spent the day at the sewing machine just going round and round because I didn't really have to think too hard about that. I have these separated. These are more for my moon and star journals because of the stencils that I used on them. They won't all be used for that, but I'll have plenty for in the journals. These, where is it? Yeah, these I haven't decided what exactly I wanted to use them for. They can be used for anything. No real specific use. But see, I have some real tall all music ones. I didn't do any stencils on that. So, and then these are like bigger journal cards that can also be written on the back. So yeah, I sat in front of the sewing machine for hours doing this, and I did some here with just dictionary page. I think I did like glued three dictionary pages together at one time, so it's a little thicker because those pages are really thin. some of these I glued down to a coffee dyed. So, and then if you do these dictionary pages, it's good to check the the words on it. You don't really want to put anything like too offensive in your journals. But yeah, I didn't do anything on those. They're ready for a new adventure. And then these were the inked mixed media papers that I stamped on, put on coffee dyed paper, cut up. And yeah, I just did a lot of sewing that day because, you know, my mind was not working. And then this was another one that I decided I wanted to use this in more of a spooky journal. And as far as I got with the decorating was some of that pattern paper. I just ripped up, first I ripped all the edges off so that none of them were the straight factory cut or scissors cut. They were all rough, and I just layered some little pieces together, squished it, and then stapled it down. And I liked it better on the side, so it's like a little flower. And then I inked it, and that's as far as I got with that one. See, my head just was not working. These I picked out for in my spooky journals. They have like bats already stamped on them, or I thought they'd go really good with the spooky journals because of the orange and yellow brown colors. I did go ahead and I decorated one. I pulled out my dyed cheesecloth. I have some green and some gray and some coffee dyed real light, and then some yellow. And I was looking through my book and I found the little book covers that you get in the Tim Holtz ephemera packs. So I just went ahead and folded up some little papers, and I just didn't want to like go too far into making more books. So I glued it down so that I didn't have to cut all the pages apart and do that. And I had the little envelope that I had made a while back. So I just glued it down so that he can't pull it out. And then the, what does this say? Yeah. Gathering of Ominous Forces. Now, I put a little sticker down. It's a little stork and a flamingo. But I have some bats stenciled, so Ominous Forces, I don't know. Anyways, that little piece of fabric was already cut, ready to go, and I found it mixed up in my cheesecloth. So of course I just stuck it down, and what I did was, that's also the brown paper is the dress pattern paper, and this was just a little scrap of fabric that I had. I'll show you what else I did, because another day my head was still not working, and so I went through a lot of my fabric, and as I was tearing some bigger pieces off to make some smaller pieces to use, this was just a byproduct, so it worked perfectly on that. And I did some coffee dyeing also when I pulled out my my fabric and stuff. It was black and white. These are little bats that I got from like the Dollar Tree, a thing of ribbon. And as long as I had the coffee out, I went ahead and coffee dyed it, and I like this much better. I am gonna cut a little bit of an angle in the ends of this, but yeah, I love the brown much more than the bright white. I'm much more likely to use that. So whenever you have coffee, figure out what you wanna, you know, not be white anymore. I'm just a lot more likely to use it with the brown than the bright white. Let me see. I wanted to, oh, the coffee dyed stuff. Let me get that. Oh, sorry about that. I went through a lot of fabric that I had in drawers and bags, and this was an old pillowcase. And just the seams and the edges, it was falling apart. It was coming apart. So, and I didn't want it all coffee dyed, so I just dipped my fingers in it and, you know, just kind of mushed it around. So there are some whiter spots. It just kind of looks stained, but I thought it looked really cool. And I might use the tag for something else. So I'll be pulling that off. And that's just another thing you can check for in your scraps. This was a little piece that I cut off of a little bit larger piece that I got in the discount, the remnants thing at, I believe it was Hobby Lobby. They had a lot of little remnants that are a lot cheaper than their full price stuff. So that's always good to check if you go there. This again, I didn't dunk it in the coffee. I put it, I put my fingers in the coffee, and so there are some white spots, but I really like the way that turned out. This piece I have, I don't know, I have yards and yards of this. I got it for $1 at an estate sale. So I wanted to see how it looked, and I do like it more brown. It was like really bright white. So that turned out good. This again was the pillowcase. This I did dunk in the coffee and wrung it out, and then I took it outside and just kind of hung it on some of my plants out there. So where it was folded and stuff, you can see that it got a little darker as it dried, and there's some lighter spots, but I really like the way that one turned out. And these were old sheets. Nope, this was the pillowcase again. It's just the spots, darker spots, is just the way that it dried. This was an old sheet. And it was all bright white. I just, there's more of a chance of me using it with it being brown, because I do like to do more grungy kind of journals, not really pretty fancy little angel stuff, you know. That's just not me. So I got a lot of that there. And then these were bigger pieces. Again, I got these at in the remnants. They were, it's cotton fabric. It's a little thicker, a little stiffer. It was made for curtain liners, is what it had on the package. So I just cut a couple big pieces off of that because I had quite a bit of that, and again, just did the coffee on my fingers and my hands and did it around, and I love the way that turned out. I think it turned out pretty good. And then this is another bigger sheet piece, so you can tell where it was laying across the table, one of the tables, and yeah, it just turned out really good. I like this. So a lot of different uses for it. In a junk journal. And, you know, they don't have to be really pretty looking pieces. You know, the scraps. You can use it all. So don't throw out the scraps. So yeah, I went through all my, well, not all, but majority. Oh, I wanted to show you this one. See, this is now this is a part of the pillowcase that I kind of coffee dyed, and see how much different it looks with this scrappy kind of frizzy look than the super clean fancy little ribbon. More of a grunge look, and I really like that a lot better than, I do like using these, but they're just so, I don't know, clean. I prefer a grungy looking journal, although I really do love this trim. I love that trim, and I love the little bow. But see the difference? It's just so you can see there is a big difference in how you do stuff. Just one little piece. Okay, then Oh my gosh. So I was going through all my fabric. Oh, I hope I might need to. I was going through all my fabric. May have to put this aside. Okay. And like this, real shiny. I'm not sure what kind of fabric this is. It was a huge piece that I got for $1 at the thrift store. And it just said as is. It had tape around it. And it's yards and yards long. It's only about a foot, foot and a half, 2 foot wide or tall. And it's just, yeah, it's huge. So, and I had all these fabrics stuffed in bags and drawers, and I figured if I had smaller pieces, it would be easier for me to get them out to use than digging through the bags trying to find that one specific thing. So now I'll have a basket of just smaller pieces. This was a cool fabric. I think I covered my first journal in this. I did, with the little sunny smiley faces. And then I put this over it, which looked really cool. I really liked the way that looked. And then you had little suns peeking out. And yes, it was a spooky journal, but yeah, I loved the way it looked. So, and these were a pair of pants that my sister had given me, and I just loved the way this fabric looked. Perfect for, what was it, a bohemian style journal. Many uses for that, but the legs were quite wide, so I think I will be able to use it as a journal cover, because the legs were wide enough to where I could get a piece to do several journal covers for that. Some of these, this again was a remnant from Hobby Lobby. A lot of these were like from the Dollar Tree. They have those little rolls for $1, and I got them from there, and I also got them from thrift stores and estate sales. This again was Dollar Tree little roll. I love the small print. This was what was it? Hobby Lobby remnant. It was pretty small, but I just cut a little piece off so that I have it here. Much easier to use. I'm just gonna go through these real quick. This I showed you the coffee dyed one. That's the original color of it. I can't remember what they called it. Duck something. I don't know. This was from my sister. She cut them off of shorts, pajama shorts or something. And also these, I think they were pajamas. Little Home Live Simply. That was Dollar Tree. This we got at Joann's, little dragons. I love to see my little Godzilla. So yep, had to have that. These, I think that's a typewriter. I don't know, I find this stuff really hard to see exactly what it is. They're just little things. That is the right side, because there's the back side. So I'm just not sure what all those little things are, but it's more of a jeans material. Here's the pillowcase. I had this black one and the off-white. It was some wearable mesh that I got at Michael's that was in the clearance. So yeah, it's just another thing to add a lot of interest to tags and stuff. This was like some liner from something. Yellow, I don't know how to tell if it's like real silk or if it's, you know, the fake stuff. I'm not sure, but it's very shiny, very slippery. This is more of a canvas, but I love the little flamingos. We got this also before Joann's closed. but I have plenty to make a few journal covers. I thought that would be really excellent. And here's that other fabric I have yards and yards of that I got for $1. It's not super bright white, but I do like it better coffee dyed. It's very cute. I don't know, some kind of brown and polka dots. This was an old pair of pants. This I had gotten, I don't know what kind of fabric it is, but I got it a long time ago to do embroidery on. So I really like the color of that one. Some little liner stuff from something. These were, I think, all Dollar Tree rolls. That many colors, I think that was from my sister. That oh, and then I got a bunch of these pre-cut little fabric squares. These were from an estate sale. There's some really pretty ones in here. So lots to choose from. That's why I always get the scrap bags if you find them. They're usually only $1 or so. That's really pretty. I love the swirls. Little music notes. This was something I think from an old sheet or bed cover we washed, and it was falling apart, so I kept that part. Okay, and then here, got more pink. Got some really cool turkeys. Those will look really cool. I have enough to do a journal cover, but I cut these out so I can use them for some slow stitching stuff. Pretty little flowers. And some pink. This one, farm fresh eggs. And lovely little llamas. No drama llamas. Some really cool. That's not felt, it's fleece, I guess. Yeah. Isn't that cute? The little foxes and squirrels. This one has a real pale pattern, but I loved it. And there's some more of that pink. I got a big bolt of this at a estate sale. Harry Potter stuff. It was the last day and I got a really good price on it, so it's pretty cool. But now I can use it. This stuff, pretty leopard. These were estate sale. I just love the little lines on it. And then I'm not sure who those are. So if anybody knows, let me know who these guys are. At first I thought they were Disney critters, but I don't know. They are not familiar to me. These were little little scarves that they put on Sweet Pea when we have her haircut when she's come back from the groomer. As you can tell, Halloween, and then she had this one on the last time with the little crabs. That's so cute. Okay. So, oh, here, let me show you these. This was a Dollar Tree find. It's super soft, and I'm gonna, I think, maybe do some eye pillows because it's so super soft. I think that would be great with lavender and flax in it. Do some eye pillows. Here's some really cool, oh, this I got to do journal covers. I just love the color. And the little flowers and stuff on it. This one I got for do my spooky journals, some bats. I like the way that one looked. And I really love this one, the smoke skulls. I just took a little piece off of that. But I think I have like almost a full yard to make journal covers out of it. It's a nice cotton. Love the skulls. And these are a couple Tim Holtz ones that just have random stuff on them. And by cutting it into smaller pieces, I am much more likely to stop and use it in my journals. This one too. the little measuring sticks. This is the fabric. I had gotten a whole yard of it, and it has all the little like Halloween sayings from the sticker books and stuff. So instead of using the little sticker books, I just cut all the little things out and keep them in a little container. That one that's on the tag, yeah, it somehow got mixed up with the cheesecloth. So when I found it, it worked perfect on that. And then this one's really cool, the periodic table. I love this one. So a little smaller, and I think this one is Tim Holtz too. I think I got a yard of it. I just loved the way it looked. Perfect for a grungy journal cover. And then, let's see, then I just have some little pieces, various, and I have a whole thing. And like I did some, my sister gave me an old pair of pants that was falling apart, so I cut all the pockets off of it. This is from an old sweater that was had a hole in it. And yeah, I just kept all the little pockets and stuff, which are great to put on the cover of a journal. You know, they look really cool. I did keep the belt, the back, to where, you know, you can put it around a journal, put little clasp there, and it'll be, you know, to close it. So, just different ideas there. Yeah, there's just lots of, and then I got a lot of little dog stuff from the last time I went to the thrift store. And yeah, so you get the gist of it. I had a lot of fabric to go through, and yeah, my mind just was not working because of all the craziness in the world. And I threw myself into this to keep from going crazy. At least try. Which brings me to what else I wanted to discuss. It's very, seeing that video and just being so angry and upset about that woman dying for no reason, just because the guy was a total cuck. He's just, he needs to be brought up on charges. Anyways, I know how hard it is to find hope and focus on going forward because of all the craziness, because then there were 2 shootings after that over in Portland, which was just nuts. Just crazy stuff coming at us every day. So watching YouTube, I did find a couple of channels that had some stuff on them that actually helped. They discussed it, and they brought about a little bit of hope. You know, we got to keep the hope. So I wanted to just mention to you, a great person to watch is Heather Cox Richardson. The video is Making Sense of This Moment. She's a historian, so everything that's happened, she tries to match it up to or compare it to what happened way back when, you know. So she is very enlightening about that, and she will give you hope. She's just a wonderful person to follow on there. She has a lot of great content, and, you know, a historian. She knows all about what happened. She understands all of it. So the way she explains it is, it can help you find hope to keep going. Another one, Amanda's Mild Takes. She does a short or 2 every week, and she does other videos too, but she does a funny thing that says Donald Trump's L's for the week, and she goes through all the craziness that's been happening the whole week and how things are going against him that can bring you hope that maybe we can end this. It's just she's a great person to follow on YouTube. And then the last one that I saw, let's see, The channel is Really American. They have several people on there that do different segments. The one that I would love for everybody to watch, because it's extremely enlightening, is The Nazis Get Hacked and Humiliated. It's a little under 10 minutes, but I didn't realize how pervasive the Nazi white supremacy bullshit, was in this country. Since I'm not racist, I did not realize it was that deep and that strong. Anyways, this video, you really need to watch it. In Hamburg, Germany, they have hackers come together and show what they can do, how they can pick something apart and hack into it. Or not just, I don't know. They have a little meeting there. The woman, the name she goes by is Martha Root, and she wears a pink Power Ranger outfit, which I thought was pretty cute. And what she did, which she is now in my hero book, she took down 3 websites: White Child, White Date, and White Deal. And if you watch this video, it'll tell you what these are about. Well, White Date is like a is like a dating thing for only whites, and you have to be pure blood and this and that. It's just sickening. The White Child is actually matching up egg and sperm to make the perfect Aryan baby. Just insane. And I didn't really catch what the White Deal was, but she shut them all down. She shut them all down. So it's very interesting, and she's like a reporter, and she's got an ongoing thing I think she's on Instagram, which I am not. So, but if you are interested in getting more information about this, The Nazis Get Hacked and Humiliated by Really American channel. It's just a really eye-opening video. So hopefully these can help bring you some hope from all this insanity that's been happening because of the awful, awful regime that's in power right now here in America. I hope this can help. I've had a very hard time the last few days trying to move forward from this, because it's just an awful thing and I feel so powerless. So I do hope that this can help others. And I will sign off. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And don't give up the fight. No kings. Peace. Love you guys.